Dr. Gilly-Harry, the president at the Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association, PETROAN, is joining me right here at the table. Welcome to you, Doctor, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Now let's just go straight ahead, because I'm not happy this morning. I know that even on your way here, how was it for you coming here? Okay, you own a filling station, so you should be able to get fuel. But did you see the fuel queues on the way, and how do you feel about that?
Well, I can tell you right away that it's a very unhappy situation. I could have been very late here if not that I know my way around Abuja. The vehicle that I was coming with ran into a big, hold up because of one retail outlet that has product in it. And but it's poor times that we must all work together to resolve.
What do you mean by work together? Are you talking about the stakeholders? Because Nigerians, I don't want to say ordinary Nigerians or even average Nigerians, for many of which don't have a stake in this. So who are the all of you that you're saying should work together?
Every one of us, primarily NNPC, the PPMC of NNPC, the depot owners, the retail outlet owners, and of course also the users of the product. Because obviously, I mean, from the pictures you're already showing here, you can see that discipline is needed to ensure that we don't have this type of gridlocks. Because this itself is sufficient to cause a lot of delay. If there is a petroleum product, tanker loaded with say about 45,000 liters of PMS now, it can't get access into this station. So that is one of the things that stakeholders can also do, and like you too can do.
I'm doing my bit already by bringing those matters to fore, and also trying to gauge how Nigerians feel about it.
Well, I think Nigerians are very upset about everything that's going on, and
rightfully so.
Yeah, and I would not blame any Nigerian for being upset. I mean, when I was invited to this show, I was reluctant, as you can tell, but I had no choice because...
You were reluctant?
Yeah, I was reluctant because I know this would be a firing point. You're going to try to roast me here, so but I know that we can only focus. You are
not being hung here. It's not a firing squad. But I'm also trying to do my job, asking you questions around the job you and your colleagues are doing and engagement with stakeholders. I don't think you should be reluctant. I think we're both doing our jobs.
I'm not reluctant.
And you also owe it to Nigerians.
Exactly.
Because Nigerians are making you make money, and your colleagues.
I don't disagree.
Yes. So you and your colleagues should have that responsibility and show up anytime we ask.
No, we will. And of course I'm here.
Okay.
And I'm not even doing it on Zoom. I came live, flew in just for you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Okay, so you're talking about stakeholders.
Yes.
Why are we still seeing this fuel scarcity? I mean, you mentioned something earlier, which I don't think we should gloss over that. Let's say a tanker is coming to, load fuel in one of these filling stations. Yes. With that key, we won't be able to have access. So should I say that's one of the challenges we're having?
It's one of the challenges, but I think that what we should do, you see, we cannot dust the realities under the carpet and then just keep it flying. First of all, I am very much aware that NNPC is doing as much as they can to try to resolve this issue. But I think that doing enough should be, upgraded, and it should be fast-tracked. What are the things that we can do? We as retail outlet owners, we're out there to help. We want to make sure that these queues are out. Scarcity is not, because it's not like there is no petroleum product now. You heard the NNPC GMD say that we have about 1.7 billion liters. That's a lot of product. But it needs to move from vessels to depot, and from depot to the retail outlets, and from retail outlets into the tanks that will have to move around in Nigeria to improve and grow our economy. So we think that the NNPC should do much better, PPMC too should do much better. We retail outlet owners are there. We cannot solve this problem doing business as usual. There has to be a very special technical, operational methodology to resolve this matter. And one of the things we are suggesting as retail outlet owners is we can have very specific designated depots that retail outlet owners, marketers, independent marketers can go buy without any, red cap, without any red cap to be able to get the product and move it to the retail outlets. Tankers should be made available. This is not the time for any one of us to get upset with any kind of situation. Petroleum product today in black market is costing as much as 800 naira a liter. None of us is happy about that. I promised you the other day that we're going to make sure that we walk around it. And of course, we held many of our members accountable.
Yes, because I asked that question and I put it to you that same day. Yes. That even I used Asokoro here where our studio is to make an example just before or just around the IGP's office. You've seen, and I guess if you still go there now, you still see those black marketers. Well,
the black marketers will always be there because people are hungry and they will always look for a way to go. But the concern we have is that our members should not deliberately sell to people in jerry cans to be able to move on. What we want the NNPC to do today is work with PETROAN and other stakeholders to designate special depots that we must buy speedily. And we must be able to move our trucks immediately to our retail outlets without this type of gridlock to be able to deliver. So in a day, if we can do 2 trips in a station that has, say, about 10 pumps, that will solve the problem. And we can focus on the metropolitan areas where we know that once there is traffic jam is going to impact on the economy of that city for that day. We can do that. That's what we retail outlet owners are offering. And we want NNPC, PPMC, the NMDPRO to use that opportunity and work with PETROAN to get this solution, to the Nigerian public.
And I don't want us to gloss over this issue because if you take a look at the price of petrol now, the black market is very inflated.
It's inflated.
Yes,
I just told you that they are selling 10 liters jerry can for 8,000 naira. And all those people should be arrested.
Now, the question and where I want to go to the bottom of it is that who are those empowering the black marketers? There should be fuel attendants because have we seen fuel attendants being sanctioned or being even suspended? Because how would the black marketers have access to the fueling stations?
Well, that is a subject that
because if cars are there queuing to buy fuel and you're seeing a black marketer such as the one you're seeing right now on screen going in with a 25 liters, come on. Where is he getting the fuel from? Does he have a filling station of his own? Apparently not. So who are those empowering them?
Well,
and that is where your association
exactly that is a good subject and it's something that we must look into. As I'm on this program today, all our states chapters, the chairmen are all watching this program, and I believe that they are seeing what's going on here. And I will call on all chairmen of all the states to please work with the approved authorities to stop this type of jerry can selling of 25 liters. This is even too much. At this time, if there is any jerry can sale, it shouldn't be more than 4 liters. And that should be for generators
at home. Yeah.
Okay? So we need to be able to help the system to work. And
are we seeing that help? Or people are also using this opportunity to enrich themselves? I know things are hard, or even people within your own community. I've just said the field attendants, or even the managers of the filling stations. I'm happy you're saying that all your state chapters are watching this show. So I'm talking to all of you that are chairmen of PETROAN in different states to be able to monitor, because this is such an embarrassment for a country that is the 6th largest producer of crude. And yet we import, and we're making things harder for ourselves. So the field attendants are being empowered by who?
We need to
managers and co, so that at the end of the day they bring forga. We know that all those things happen, and we should say it. I will say it.
Oga, that's the CEO of.
He may not be the CEO. I'm saying for those that within working in that. Yes. So people should monitor.
Once we have a good information, we want to use it, and that's what we also advise NNPC and PPMC and the NDPRO. Once a good solution is identified, use it immediately, because we don't. This is an eyesore for us. We should not see this at all. If we have up to 2 billion liters of PMS that's landed in our shores, we should be able to work as fast as possible to discharge from the vessels into the depots and designate special depots across the country. We have Ogara there, we have Port Harcourt, we have Calabar, we have Lagos. We can be able to work out a process where there is a safe and fast corridor for petroleum product to be delivered to the retail outlets. And PETROAN is ready to work with the authorities. So we give that.
Have they not been working with you?
Well, we are working.
Because I've been hearing PETROAN is ready. PETROAN is ready.
We are working with them only within the scope of what we are allowed to do. We don't own all the depots. We have very few PETROAN
but
members.
Because you have Moneyline, you have IPMAN.
Moneyline is major marketers.
Yes.
And they are the ones that work, that own most of the depots. DAPMAN is another bigger organization that has most of the depots. PETROAN members, very, very few of us that will be owners of depots. And most of our depots will be interland. So, of course, we can work with DAPMAN, we can work with MOMAN.
How has the relationship been?
Well, it's been good so as far as sharing information, but we need to move further, and that's why we have already started interfacing with all the associations to make sure that they understand what PETROAN can do and what PETROAN is there to achieve. We are serving IPMAN, we are serving MOMAN, we are serving DAPMAN, and we are serving even the NNPC retail outlets that are owned by the NNPC. Every retail outlet owner that has a difficulty in their local governments, in their cities, PETROAN is there to intervene and make sure that we bring solution to the table. So, of course, we certainly want to do more in this situation because we can be able to say, look, we have 10 retail outlets that are positioned in some metropolitan area that can be able to deliver product and that. But if PPMC is not reaching out to us to get those particular stations that will be able to do that, because they'll be under our control. And we'll make sure that the authorities monitor them, just like what we've done. Announce, the moment product is received, we announce it over all the media to say, so filling station, retail outlet has been supplied 40,000 liters of product or 60,000 or 120,000 liters of product, and advise the public to go orderly to buy. We can even find a method of make sure we prompt, the drivers on the road to come. So there'll be no gridlock. Right now, this is happening because there is no clearly defined process on how to do it. And we are offering that we can do this to make sure that it works. Because we have different things that we can be able to introduce. It's a matter of thinking. We're in a problem, so we must think out of the box and solve them very sharply too.
It's just that we're a country that it's like we continue to bask in our mistakes, and it's really very upsetting and very annoying because it's like we're a country of, we always have fuel scarcity. If we don't have fuel scarcity in 1 year, we celebrate it, But the next question is around the cleanup of the tanks, because the last time you were here, we also talked about cleaning up those tanks, how challenging it will be. Where are we right now on it?
Well, the challenge is still on because as I speak to you, only yesterday we laid a very clearly defined complaint on the need to evacuate the products in our tanks. Because any tank that was isolated at that time needs to be emptied, and the tank needs to be cleaned up. And we're already losing money by the product that we bought that we couldn't sell. So we need to advance on that. And of course, we have promises from the authorities that they will look into that. So of course.
How long has this taken? Because I know
you see,
this is like 1 month now we've been talking about this. Yes.
We need to be honest to ourselves as Nigerians. It's not good enough to say we've done this when we're actually just only in the process of thinking of doing it. We need to be straightforward and to tell the Nigerian public exactly what is going on. What is going on is that we need to match words with actions. And for us as PETROAN members, what we are out to do is to serve the public. Our main mandate is to ensure that there is ease of doing business in ensuring that petroleum product is delivered efficiently and accurately in a manner that is, that can compare with any part of the world as to how retail outlets should be able to provide service for the populace.
What is the process that is involved in cleaning up of tanks?
Well, first of all, there are a few things that can be done. You don't forget that what brought about that problem was methanol that was over and above. So, of course, if you have a higher quality of PMS, of prime motor spirit, and that is in itself blended very well, it will take off the methanol because it's not water. It's just reaction that is bringing those sediments. Are you getting the point?
So are you saying that the blending would also happen in that same tank by adding perhaps more fuel, more petrol that is the standard
all that
to
is
blend
required,
it?
all that is required there, because there'll be the issue there, let's be clear with ourselves, is methanol that was added over and above the required quantity. So what that means is that if there is a higher quality of PMS that is also immediately brought in and blended, that methanol will fizzle off, and then you will not.
Anyway, let's explain to Nigerians what blending means. I want us to simplify. Now you're saying we already have the petrol that has methanol in the tanks. Let's get fuel that doesn't have as much as methanol, the fuel that we used to use before that doesn't have high percentage. Let me explain that. Would you put it back inside the same tank?
It will, the methanol should be able to go off.
To go, because of the higher quantity, it will dissolve. It's just simple science. It's like you putting more water into, the volume of water is more. Let's say now you want to dilute salts. I'm just thinking that way. That something is salty, just pour a lot of water. I think that should be like the simplest.
Exactly, it's the simplest way. You are a chemist, so you should understand this science better.
So yes, I'm just trying to explain it so that Nigerians will understand. So I hope it's taken. Okay, so that is the process. So what exactly is the problem getting that process done? Getting this new fuel?
It's just what we have just said now. Now, if a station has this product there and has not got this high quality PMS, how does he get it out?
Okay.
So that's what we're offering, that we need to get to that point.
Okay. What have you really been hearing about the investigation? Even the last time we spoke, the president said he's going to query. There was like a query. I don't know if the query has been answered. Investigation. NNPC came up with the importers that did this. Some of them denied and all of that. What have you been hearing around that? Have you heard, especially in your circle, have you heard if anyone is being held responsible or someone? I guess you hear these
Well,
news.
certainly those are very, very internal mechanics of the authorities and what they're doing, and it will be out of place for an association that is business centered like us to meddle into administrative values of the government. But one thing I do know is that NNPC will not keep quiet, because it's a taint on their reputation. And anyone that is found guilty will be dealt with according to the law. And from what we already know, processes had already started. So as for whether the query is answered or not, that's not our place.
I think it sits at the table of the president, since he's the Minister of Petroleum, to give us updates on that. And it's so unfortunate, because at least the NNPC under Gilly-Harry in the past few years has been, a bit, I'm not saying better than before, but at least we've seen a difference,
But he's doing a good job. I can tell you that Mele is actually focused on changing the values of how NNPC operates, and we are there to support him. We hope that our support is useful today.
Anyway, things like this, I also hope that Gilly-Harry, NNPC, GMD Limited, should be. I wonder how he will be feeling right now, seeing that Nigerians are
the man
really
is already
in
pressured.
pain,
Yes,
because
he's pressured because he's in his watch. I think, I'm not speaking for him, I'm not his PRO, but in his watch, from what I know of the man, he will want Nigeria to be stable and grow. Because he's a man that has passion for this country. I can tell you that.
Anyway, what I'm just trying to say is that the NNPC has a responsibility, and Nigerians have been grueling in pain for over a month, or about 1 month, and it's not fair, because businesses are really crying. Some businesses are shut down as a result of this, or some don't do as many hours as they should do as a result of this. So, any other thing you want to say before we leave?
Well, I just want to continue to advise us as Nigerians that this is a difficulty that we all are facing. The Honorable Minister came out to ask everybody to please put their hands together. Let's make this not too difficult for us. I think that as an association that is very, very focused on ensuring that petroleum product is delivered seamlessly, we are doing our best. We want the authorities to work very closely with the retail outlets, but this is one sure way to solve the problem with speed. We also want to appeal to Nigerians to be patient. There is enough product from what the NNPC GMD has already told us.
To be patient, 1 month is not enough.
No, it shouldn't take another 1 month. I believe in days now, this should be okay, especially if we are taking this advice of designating some tank farms that can easily do intervention speedily.
There's also the issue which, because of time, the issue of this Russia's invasion of Ukraine and how it will affect logistics and supply concerns.
Yeah, that is going to impact.
Yeah,
it's going to impact very
whether
negatively.
Whether we'll see this even longer, who knows?
Whatever that it takes, this is our country, and let us all do the best we can to make sure that this country grows and is stable. The war in Russia, the war in the Ukraine with Russia is going to impact on our economy, no doubt, because Russia is a major producer of several different things, from food to gas. And of course, this war now is going to be affecting the sea routes, the route to deliver the shipment route. Sanctions are already impacting negatively. But be that as it may, let us find internal solutions to what we want to do. More than anything else, ensure that we have our local refining capacity working. And that is one sure way of making sure that we don't have this difficulty in the future. We must grow our own economy by ourselves. Okay. We are 200 million plus. So we should be able to have a very robust economy that's internally generated, developed, and made to be robust. Why can't we be the world power? We should. We have the capacity.
Let's start from home first. Not just the largest country by population or the biggest economy with the poorest people. So let's start from home. Thank you very much. And I hope you won't be reluctant again to come.
No. We will not.
All right, Dr. Gilly-Harry, the President, Petroleum Product Retail Outlets Owners Association, PETROAN, has joined me at least in the last few minutes.